Moving right along, we're going to look at some multi-digit basic operations. I think there are 4 or 5 of them on this practice test. The first one is addition, and it's 2 4-digit numbers. Let's get a fresh sheet, and let's get a fresh color too while we're at it. Let's go with blue. All right, so we've got 6,711 plus 7,849. So big digits, 4-digit numbers will need to probably carry a little bit. So let's add it up and see where we're going. 1 plus 9 is 10. We're going to put the 0 down from the 10 and carry the 1. And then 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 4 more is 6. 7 and 8, 15, carry the 1. 1 plus 6 plus 7 is 14. I'm guessing our answer is 14,560. Let's put that in and see. 14,560. We'll submit this. Pray for green. There it is. All right, let's look at another problem. This decimals, so we have subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? So I'll do these on the same sheet right here. We've got 8.3 times 3.87. And it doesn't matter how you stack. Oops. Yes, it does. This is subtraction. I was thinking multiplication. So 8.3 minus 3.87. So very important to line up your decimal points when you do addition or subtraction. For multiplication and division, it doesn't matter. You fix it up later after you've got your preliminary product. But for addition or subtraction, you have to line those numbers up first. And the top number, 8.3, we're going to just put a 0 in here at the end. It doesn't change the value. 8 3/10 is the same as 8 30/100. But this will make it easier to calculate. So what we have to do is subtract 7 from 0, which we can't do. So we're going to borrow 1 from the 3, leaving 2. I thought it would leave 2. Can't write. Leaving 2. And making this, borrowing the 1 you borrowed makes this a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. So 2, we can't take 8 away from 2, so we borrow 1 from the 8, leaving 7. We got 12 minus 8, that's 4. 7 minus 3 is 4. And the decimal point just stays where it was. And always in math, for addition or subtraction, the numbers have to be similar somehow. Like with fractions, you're looking for a common denominator. With decimals, you're looking for the columns to line up. That's why we put the decimal points together. So that's just something to keep in mind all throughout math. Exponents, square roots, variables, they've all got to match if you want to add or subtract. Multiplication and division are a different level, so that's something else entirely. Let's put this answer in, 4.43, and go on to the next one. 1.9. Let's see, I always get stuck subtracting. 1.9 times 2.7. So I occasionally have transcription errors. I also make dumb mistakes, but just be careful copying these numbers out. And I would like you to do your math problems the way I'm doing them now, because we can't proctor the tests, and you're not supposed to use a calculator, so I will need to see a worksheet of all the problems you had to work on paper. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, decimal multiplication, you don't have to worry about the decimals until after you're done with the preliminary product. So 7 times 9, 63, carry the 6. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. Put your placeholder 0 there. 2 times 9 is 18, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. We add these together. 3 and 8 is 11, carry the 1. 1 and 1 and 3 is 5. 5, 1, 3 is our preliminary answer. And this is where we have to count. We have 1 decimal place to the left here and 1 decimal place to the left here. So we're going to have 2 decimal places over. We have to put our answer in the same format. So we're going to go 2 places to the left from the right side, and our answer is going to be 5.13. Okay. And if you look at this, 1.9 is almost 2, so we did decimal rounding last week. And 2.7 is almost 3. 2 times 3 would be 6, which is a little high, but it's ballpark. So if you ever wonder where your decimal point should go, you can kind of do a guesstimate to fine-tune your decimal placement. And the last one, 12 divided by 2.5. All right, this one's kind of similar. We have to move this decimal point out of the way before we start. And we have to do the same thing in the dividend. The dividend is the thing that's going to be divided. I'm going to put a 0 here just as a placeholder. But we moved the decimal point one place to the right with the 2.5, making it 25. So we have to do the same thing with the 12. So sometimes this takes a good imagination. We're going to make that 120 and then put the decimal up on top there. And now we guess how many times the divisor, 25, I'm going to rewrite it so there's no confusion. 25 goes into 120. So 25 goes into 100 4 times. Let's start there. 4 times 25 is 100. And we get 2, leaving 20. And then if we put a 0 here, it doesn't change the value. A 0, this is called a trailing 0. Doesn't change the value of the number. So we can just add that and bring that 0 down. That makes it easier to work with. How many times will 25 go into 200? 8. So 8 times 25 is 200. So we get 0 left over. So the answer is 4.8. All right, let's see how we did here. Again, if you need help with any of these, let me know. The Math Learning Center is also open daily. And what else? Khan Academy. If you use any of these, you can use some of the terms they use to find them. If you just type in operations, they will give you a lot of operations to work with. All right, so down here we've got another one. This is long division. So let's take a look at this one. This time we have 15,975 divided by 45. So one reason I used to hate, well, division is not my favorite operation because it's all guesswork. Like you say, will 45 go into 1? No. Will 45 go into 5? No. Will 45 go into 159? Well, yeah. And this is where you might do a guesstimate. 159 and 45 is almost 50. So how many times will 50 go into 159? Think about money. Sometimes that helps. So I'm saying 3 times. 3 times 5, and this is just a preliminary guess. It's 15, carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. See how much we have left over. 24. Okay, so that was good. And we bring down a 7. How many times will 45 go into 247? So 45 is almost 50. How many times will 50 go into 250? 5. Let's try it. 5. And you guys know my secret method of multiplication by 5. Take half of the number, 22.5, and move the decimal or add a 0. So 22.5, we're going to move the decimal place and get 225. Pretty slick, huh? All right, so 7 minus 5 is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. We've got 22 left over, and bring down this 5. Now, how many times will 45 go into 225? I'm guessing 4, maybe, but this 25 on the end here makes me suspicious that maybe it goes in 5 times. Because these test answers are often, they have what you call in math a happy ending, where everything works out evenly. So let's go with 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 more is 22. There you go. So our answer, 355. Let's see if we can do that here. 355. All right, let's see if we did it right. Awesome. I'm having a good day today. All right, the next two are a couple of substitution problems, so don't get scared. These kind of look like algebra, but they aren't really. It's like a Halloween costume. They're disguised to look scary, but they're not really. V squared, or v to the second power, minus 3v plus 2, when v equals negative 4. So all we're going to do here is substitute in, we're going to substitute in negative 4 wherever we have a v. So the thing that's tricky is they will often give this number a negative value, because then you have to know more rules. So let's substitute in and see how it works. Negative 4, I'm going to put that in parentheses, squared, minus 3 times v. Now v here is negative 4. So it may be easier to keep straight by putting the definition of this variable in parentheses. So you remember that it's negative, even if there's another negative number. You don't want to drop a negative. So the first one, we're going to think about PEMDAS, right? So we've got a number of operations going on here in this problem. We have an exponent, right? That's the E in PEMDAS. We have multiplication. That's the M in PEMDAS. And we have addition and subtraction. Oops. So I don't want that. Right, let's make this addition. And then this is subtraction. It's not very neat writing, but we have 4 operations going on. So PEMDAS, we have to pick the operations in the right order. And the first one would be anything in parentheses, but these parentheses don't contain operations, they contain signs. So we got a negative sign in parentheses, so no operation. Strange. Still getting used to this thing. All right. Delete drawing, are you kidding? All right. So negative 4 squared, that's negative 4 times negative 4, right? Or you can write it different ways. But when the signs are the same in multiplication, the answer is always going to be positive. So it's positive, and 4 times 4 is 16. So we evaluate this to 16. We'll erase all this. 16. And then the next thing we're going to do is multiplication. We've got negative 3 and negative 3 times negative 4. So negative times a negative is a positive. We're going to get plus 4. And where were we? This, what were we saying? Positive 12. And then we just carry down the rest of our operations, right? So we use this negative sign to multiply negative 4. So if you had done it as 3 times negative 4, you would have had negative 12 being subtracted from 16. But we went ahead and we put this all together in one smooth operation. So we've got 16 plus 12 plus 2. And according to PEMDAS, if you've got operations on the same level, so PEMDAS, to remind you, M or D, A or S. If you've got operations here or here, multiplication or division, you're going to just go left to right. So otherwise you use the priority. So 16 plus 12, this evaluates to 28, plus 2, which evaluates to 30. All right, so this is kind of slapdash, but let's see how we did. 30, right? I was right. Awesome. Okay, one more like this, and then we're going to start a new video. All right, big subtraction problem. 6,723 minus 2,950. 3 minus 0 is 3. 2, you can't subtract 5 from 2, so we're going to borrow 1 from the 7. 12 minus 5 is 7. 6, you can't subtract 9 from 6, so we have to borrow. This guy's borrowing money all over the place. 16 minus 9 is 7. And then 5 minus 2 is 3. So this is our answer, 3773. And you could, if you had time, you could go back and add those two numbers back together. if you add these two together, you should get this number, right? So 3 plus 0 is 3, 7 plus 5 is 12, carry the 1. 1 and 9 is 10, plus 7 is 17, carry the 1, you get 6. So 6, 7, 2, 3. Looks like that's right. That's how you can confirm. Look, I wrote the number in there wrong. And you weren't going to tell me. That's because you hadn't seen it yet. All right. Or I can, oh, got something wrong. All right, let's find the mistake. Transcription error. 3 minus 0 is 3. 12 minus 5 is 7. 16 minus 9 is 7. 5 minus 2 is 3. What did I do wrong? Oh, I know what I did wrong. I put in the wrong answer. All right, here we go. There we go. Now I'm feeling better. Luckily, this was just a practice test. All right, we're going to move on to the next section, which will be, let me check my notes, PEMDAS. All right, so we talked about that a little bit right here. We'll talk about it a little more in just a minute. Stay tuned.